The key to unlocking the moment lies not in what is said, but in what is felt. The house greets her not with comfort, but with hesitation. A stillness that feels too still, a quiet too heavy for early evening. Her hand lingers on the doorknob, a second longer than usual after stepping in. The door doesn't creak like it usually does. Or maybe it does, and she's too distracted to notice, because something is off. The air carries warmth, but not the kind she's used to. There's a faint mix of perfume, too floral, too sharp, not hers, not anything she would wear. The scent clings to the hallway like a stranger's fingerprint. Shoes, usually scattered near the entry mat, are lined up neatly. His coat is draped over the back of the chair instead of hanging on the hook. These things aren't wrong, not exactly. But together, they feel rehearsed, as if the room has tried to pretend it's been untouched all day. The television is on, low volume, but she hears laughter from the kitchen. Not a sitcom laugh. A real one. Too soft. Too sweet. A voice that isn't hers. She doesn't move forward right away. Her feet stay planted on the hardwood, heartbeat rising against her ribcage like it's pressing for space. She tries to make sense of it. Maybe he has company. Maybe a friend dropped by. But that laugh again. It floats toward her with intimacy. Not loud, not careless. Something in it is careful, deliberate. She places her keys on the side table, gently, as if any sound she makes might break something fragile or reveal something she isn't ready to know. She walks slowly, past the hallway, mirror where her reflection catches her eye, tired, worn, still in her office clothes. The sleeves of her blouse are rolled at the elbows, creased from a long day. She adjusts them without knowing why. Maybe to feel composed, maybe to anchor herself to the reality that she is here, and something else, someone else, is too. Her fingers graze the wall as she approaches the kitchen. She doesn't call out, she listens. The clink of glass, a murmur of words too low to understand. The scent grows stronger. That perfume again, now mixed with the aroma of fresh-cut fruit. There's a second wine glass on the counter. She sees it before she sees them. Half full, with lipstick on the rim, a shade she would never wear. She lingers just outside the doorway, not ready to be seen. The late afternoon light slants through the kitchen window, casting a golden glow across the countertops. Time slows. Her breath catches. Something has already happened, and yet it's still happening. She feels it before she knows it. The atmosphere has already told her everything. She doesn't step into the kitchen. Not yet. Her body is still, but her mind begins to spin, thoughts moving too fast and too loud, even though the house remains hushed. Her breath grows shallow, the type that trembles just beneath the surface. A familiar pang rises in her chest. Not anger, not even sadness, yet just confusion, a strange, painful kind. The kind that doesn't fully bloom until realization begins to set its roots. She stares at the edge of the doorway, and for a moment, she wishes she hadn't come home so early, wishes she'd gotten stuck in traffic, stayed later at work, stopped at the store. Anything but this. Her heart begins to write a narrative faster than she can reason with. That perfume, that laugh, that glass. Still, a part of her fights it. Maybe it's innocent. Maybe it's explainable. But deep down, she knows. The knowing isn't loud. It creeps in slowly, through her skin, through the tension in her shoulders, through the ache forming in her throat. It builds quietly. The kind of quiet that screams. She remembers how the morning started. A brief kiss, a rushed goodbye, a forgotten lunchbox on the counter. Everything had felt normal then. At least it had seemed that way. She replays it now, sifting through moments as if they were clues left in plain sight. Had he looked away? Too quickly? Had his hug lasted just a second too short? The memories betray her now because they were once warm, and now every remembered second twists with a new meaning. She finally steps back, not forward. Her heel touches the floorboard behind her and creaks softly. She closes her eyes, steadying herself. Emotions layer over one another. Disbelief, embarrassment, an odd shame. Not because of anything she's done, but because suddenly she feels exposed. Like the whole house has been watching, keeping secrets, and now it's waiting for her reaction. Her fingers dig slightly into her palm, grounding her. She doesn't want to cry, but her body begins to respond before her mind can stop it. That tight pull in the chest, the way her vision starts to sting. But she doesn't let go. Not yet. There's a storm inside her, but she's trying to hold the pieces together, trying to appear composed even though no one is watching. The effort of staying silent becomes its own form of pain. She hears his voice, soft and low, followed by another laugh, lighter, unburdened. Something about that sound cuts sharper than any argument ever could. Her legs feel heavy. She tells herself to move, to walk in, to say something, anything. But she stands there, caught between two versions of her life, the one she thought she had and the one unraveling in the next room. In this moment, she is just a heartbeat suspended in time, caught in a silence full of noise, wrapped in emotions too complex to name. She notices the throw blanket on the couch, folded in a way she never folds it. Too neat, too precise. Her husband always leaves it in a tangle. The cushions are fluffed. There's a faint indentation on one she didn't make. A small, unfamiliar purse rests against the armrest, half open. A glimpse of a phone screen flashing momentarily with a message. Preview she can't quite read. Her eyes catch a cardigan draped over the dining chair. Pale pink with tiny embroidered flowers near the collar. She doesn't own anything like that. She wouldn't. The smell of something sweet lingers in the air. Not just the fruit, but vanilla, maybe something baked. There's no baking tray, but the aroma suggests recent warmth. On the side table is a candle she never lights. It's burning. Wax melted down the sides like it's been burning for hours. She never liked that scent. Too strong. She wonders why it's lit now. She moves slowly, quietly, like a stranger in her own space. Her hand reaches out and grazes the edge of the kitchen counter. There's a damp towel near the sink, lipstick smudged faintly across the edge of a water glass. The wine glass, half full, glints under the low-hanging bulb. The lipstick is a rich, dusty rose. Her own color is always muted, barely there. This one commands attention. He's saying something, low-voiced, too soft for her to make out clearly. Her name doesn't come up. Neither does anything else familiar. There's laughter again, muffled now, accompanied by the distinct sound of fingertips tapping gently on glass. She doesn't hear her name spoken in the kind of tone one would use when speaking of someone loved. Her presence, even unacknowledged, feels like a shadow pressing against the frame of the room. There are 2 plates in the sink, rinsed but not washed. She's never seen those plates before. They aren't the ones from their usual set. These are floral, rimmed in gold, bought for someone else, maybe borrowed. Either way, they weren't meant for her. A fork sits at an odd angle, still wet, resting across the edge of a dish. The wall clock ticks louder now. She hears it in the background, between muffled giggles and the occasional clink of cutlery still being shuffled. A thin trail of hair, long, dark, wavy, clings to the back of the chair. She doesn't touch it. She just stares. Her eyes follow it down to the soft fabric of the seat cushion, then over to the purse again. A phone vibrates gently against the tabletop. It isn't hers. She steps back into the hallway, unnoticed, her heart full of words she doesn't say. The scene in front of her is made up only of objects, of sound, of absence. But it's more than enough. Every item, every scent, every trace is a sentence.